computer. Okay. All right, so we are going to start with some breathing exercises, and I'm going to try to start each class with some breathing exercises so that we can just kind of become familiar with our breath and manipulating our breath as well. Interesting thing about the breath is that it is really the only system in the body that works automatically without our thought and concern, but we can also manipulate as well. Whereas, like, you know, the heart beats or the liver detoxifies or whatever our functions are, and we can't do anything about that. Or the finger moves, but we have to do something about that to make it move, right? But the breath works naturally or can be manipulated. And so it's unique in that sense. You know, it's unique in a lot of ways, but that's one of the ways that it's unique. And that's kind of a neat thing about the breath. So the more control we have of our breath, the more control we have over the way our body and our mind feels. So with that said, let's come to a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. It can be knees bent, on a chair, legs crossed, legs wide, whatever's comfortable for you. You could even be standing if that is what's most comfortable for you. And we want to sit up nice and tall so that our lungs are open. Before we get into our manipulation of breath, let's just take a couple breaths in the present moment, noticing our breath. Sitting up nice and tall, relax your shoulders, and just pay attention to your breath. You can close your eyes if you'd like to, or leave them open, matters not. Simply bringing awareness to your breath. Notice where your breath is moving as you inhale. Notice the reaction or movement in your body as you breathe in. And then notice the movement as you breathe out as well. And I'm going to set an intention for our class today. And the intention that I'm going to set is just to be aware of our core strength, to be aware of our center. You can follow along with that intention if you'd like, or you don't have to, but I might remind us of it throughout class. Being aware of our core strength, of our center. And as we go, we're going to manipulate the breath a little bit now into a nice, soothing, relaxing breath that's going to help bring the parasympathetic nervous system forward, sending the sympathetic nervous system back so that we come into a place of calm if we're not already there. And this is just a counting breath. So the way that it's going to work, I'll tell you before I get started, is we're going to inhale to the count of 4, and then we're going to hold our breath for the count of 4. Then we're going to exhale for the count of 5 and hold our breath for the count of 4. So it's going to be 4, 4, 5, 4. And I will count us through it and just try to follow along with the inhales and exhales as best you can, but also go at your own pace, your own count, if that works better for you. So again, sitting up nice and tall in a comfortable position. We're going to start with our inhale, and we will inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath 1, 2, 3, 4. Try counting on your own inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Hold the breath. Again, without my narration, inhale. Again. Continue a couple more times, releasing tension in your body. If you're holding your arms tight or clenching your fists or your jaw, relax, let it go. After your next exhale, come back to your natural breath. Let's bring a little bit of movement into our neck. Going to just look to the right, sitting up nice and tall, as if you're looking over your right shoulder. Shoulders relaxed. And then look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. With an inhale, bring your chin up, stretching your throat, but don't bring it real far back, just enough to stretch your throat. Sitting up straight, lower your chin down, stretching the back of your neck. With an inhale, roll your chin over towards your right shoulder. And then up towards center. And then exhale, lower your chin to the left, down towards the shoulder. And then back towards center. Let's go the other direction. With an inhale, rolling your chin over towards your left shoulder. And up towards center. Exhale over towards your right shoulder and down towards center. Now we're going to inhale, roll the chin over towards the right shoulder, but stay there. Take a breath. On your exhale, roll your chin back to center. And inhale, bring your chin over towards your left shoulder. Take a breath. And with an exhale, bring your chin back to center. Inhale, bring your head back up, looking forward. Let's move our shoulders a little bit. Again, sitting tall, hands relaxed on your thighs or wherever is comfortable for you. With an inhale, raise your shoulders up towards your ears. And an exhale out your mouth, let it go. Let's try that a few times. We'll inhale through our nose if we can, and exhale with almost a sigh on the way out. So inhale and exhale. Letting it go when we exhale, just drop it all down. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Breathe in, breathe out. Last time. All right. Let's move the position of our legs, whatever position they're in, bring them out, just kind of kick your legs around or change position, maybe move your ankles a little bit. I'm gonna scoot back some so that you can see more of me if you need to. Okay. Hi, puppies. Puppies always wanna join into the yoga. All right, so before we get into our abdominal work, and that's what we're gonna go straight into today, I wanna get into how to activate the core, just in case you're not real sure of what it means when I say engage your core. So your core, some of us may not even fully be aware of what that is. Your core is basically any part of your body that's not extra. So what I mean by that is any part of your body that you cannot survive without, okay? So basically, well, our head and our body itself, our arms and legs, hands and feet, as undesirable as it may or may not be, we can live without those. But we can't live without our head. We can't live without our chest and back. We can't live without our tummy and our bottom. So that's our core. So from head and body. I think most of us know that. But more specifically, when I'm talking about engaging that, what I'm really talking about is our abdominal muscles as a large group. So that's from front to back. When I'm talking about strengthening that, I'm not only talking about strengthening the abdominal muscles that we think of, our stomach or our six-pack abs. In fact, the six-pack abs are very superficial muscles. And while they look good if we have those six-pack abs, it doesn't do a whole lot for our strength. We want to get into the the deeper abdominal muscles to really build strength to help support our body, help support our back. So we're going to work on strengthening the back itself as well as strengthening the front. And also we'll just touch on strengthening the pelvic floor, which is key to all of it. So there's a lot of muscles that I won't get into. This isn't an anatomy class, but we just want to be strong. And like Sally had said, she wants to try to shed her COVID middle. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. I know I can. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on, is shedding that COVID quarantine middle. So to engage the core, the very kind of simplest way to do that is to just pull your belly button in towards your spine. And you'll hear me talk a lot about that in classes. I'll say pull your belly in or pull your navel towards your spine. That's just your belly button sucked in, like you're trying to squeeze into your tight jeans, okay? And then once it's pulled in, you're gonna try to lift it up toward your rib. So navel draws in and up towards your ribs. And you can already feel, or I can already feel, a real tightening in the lower abdominal area, kind of from the pubic bone up into the belly button. I can feel this tightness. So for some of us, if we're not real trained in activating or contracting those core muscles, it gets very tiring very quickly, and that's okay. Hold it and then let it go and then hold it again. Come back to it. As you build strength there, it'll be easier to stay engaged for longer amounts of time. And ideally, we're engaged for almost all of our yoga practice. And ideally, we're even engaged when we're walking and sitting in life outside of our yoga practice. So this helps support a strong back and helps prevent back injuries. So it's a pretty important thing to be comfortable with engaging your core. So if your core is engaged while I'm talking, go ahead and let it relax and take a couple of breaths. All right, let's try to engage again. Draw the navel in and up towards the ribs. If you really want to go for the extra, try to bring your pelvic floor up as well by engaging your pelvic floor muscles, which for the ladies is kind of starts at the vaginal muscles, as if you're trying to stop a stream of urine, is how people describe it. The phone rings and you've got to go answer it, so you stop when you're on the toilet. That's those muscles. For the guys, it's kind of engaging or pulling up the scrotum. I don't know how many guys we have here, but that's how we that's the starting point of engaging those pelvic floor muscles. So pull up there if that's available to you. And try to breathe engaged. See if you can still breathe in through your nose and kind of into your belly while you're engaged. And if you can't, that's okay. It does take practice. And notice here, when you breathe like that, notice, has your bottom kind of clenched? Sometimes our bottom kind of clenches up when we do that. And that's okay. That's another thing that as we practice, we'll be able to isolate the muscles and get more comfortable there. All right. Do we feel like we have a fairly decent understanding of engaging the core? Okay. If not, there'll be time after class to ask questions about that. But for now, let's get started. The very first abdominal strengthening exercise we're going to do is just a little bit more about that core engagement, and it's a seated exercise. So no matter where you're seated, or how you're seated, I should say, is perfectly fine for this one. So this one might not feel like a lot, especially if we're brand new to engaging our muscles. But if you're a veteran at engaging your core muscles, you're going to understand that this exercise can be very effective. So sitting up, we're going to bend our elbows and make a fist. And the way that this is going to look is it's going to really work on inhales and exhales. So we're going to inhale, lengthen our spine up, turn the body to the right, towards the right knee. Then we're going to exhale and crunch, engaging the core. Crunch on the exhale, and inhale, come back up, lengthen the spine. Then we're going to exhale, crunch to center, and inhale, come back up. And exhale, crunch to the left. Inhale, come back up. Now let's pause just for a second. One way that you can do, especially because you're all muted, if you're home alone, you won't be shy about this at all. And I'm in front of you guys, so I'm not going to be shy, just so that you get an idea of what I'm doing. But a lot of times it really helps to make a sound. You'll notice if you ever watch like a martial arts video that they have a lot of sounds that are very intentional sounds to help engage certain muscles as well as move chi around, but we're not getting into that. So you're going to hear me make a sound, and that will really help engage the muscles. You guys can give it a try. I'm going to use a sort of sigh sound, and that is going to be same movements. Inhale, lengthen, and then I'm going to exhale with a sigh. And then inhale, come back up. You can try it too, Marley, if you want. Exhale, center. Sigh. Oh, that really engages the core. Inhale up. Exhale. Sigh. Inhale up. Let's go back to the right. Exhale. Sigh. And inhale. And it can be any sound that you like that works for you. Exhale. Up. Exhale. Inhale. Let's go back to the right. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale. And to the left. And up. One more time to the right. I'm going to hiss like a snake. And up. Center. And up and left. And up. One more time without the sound for me. And up, center. And up and left. And up. Very good. Relax your arms down. Let's stretch through center, raising the arms up just to stretch. Maybe a little bit of movement there too, to the right and to the left, gentle twisting. All right, so we just warmed up our abs a little bit. Let's come down to the floor. Now I don't have anybody in a chair here, I don't think, or if I do, you can do all of these exercises in a chair. You just have to get a little bit creative to work on them. One of these exercises that we're gonna do on the floor, I'm gonna recommend a block for. We talked about these on Tuesday. You can have a thick book or a small stool, or even something like a rolled up towel would work for what we're gonna do. We're not gonna use it just yet, but if you wanted to grab something like that, you can do that. So we're gonna come down to our back, or if you're sitting in a chair, you'll just stay in your chair, obviously. And I'm gonna move my doggy to the other side so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so knees bend, flat on the ground, arms at your side. We had done a bridge pose in Tuesday's class, and we're gonna do something kind of similar here. We're just gonna do some pelvic tilts, and then that'll lead to a pelvic lift. So this is just kind of rocking our core a little bit. So drawing our navel down to the mat, you're gonna feel your pelvis come what's called forward or anterior tilt. So if in our natural position, we have a small lordosis or small curve in the low back. You could feel underneath your back, but this time we're gonna flatten the back to the mat. That's drawing our navel down. So now I couldn't get my fingers under there if I wanted to. Okay, that brought the pelvis forward. Hold there for a moment. That is another way to engage your core. As you draw your navel down, you'll notice, oh wow, my core is engaged. Okay, then we're gonna relax it. And this time, instead of just coming back to our natural, we're gonna create a little bit of a lift in that lordosis, in that small curve of your back. Let's add breath to this. With an inhale, draw your navel down, flatten your back. With an exhale, lift your navel up, making an arch in your back. Inhale, draw it down. Exhale, lift it up. Hips stay on the ground. Inhale, draw it down. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale down. Exhale up. One more time. Inhale down. And exhale up. Good. Now walk your heels in just a little bit closer to your bottom. We're going to do that same thing, only we're going to lift our hips off the ground this time. So we'll start with the inhale, navel draws down, back flattens, and then the exhale up off the ground. Inhale, bring it down, navel flattens. Exhale up off the ground. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. We're going to add one more element if you can. When we come up, we're going to lift our heels off of the ground. Let's give it a try. Down and then up, heels off the ground. Come back down. Good. Up, heels off the ground. And down. Up, heels off the ground. And down. Two more times. Heels off the ground. Down. Last one. Heels off the ground. And down. Actually, one more, but we're going to hold. Up. Heels can stay on the ground or come up to you. We're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. Excellent. Bring your knees up to your chest, rounding out your spine a little bit. You can rock side to side here if you'd like. From here, we're going to go into some yogi style sit-ups. Bringing your feet back down. We're going to keep our knees together, but then walk our feet wide. I'll turn so you can see kind of what that looks like, what I mean. So knees are together, but then feet are wide, okay? Then we're gonna bring both arms behind the head, interlace the fingers, and support your neck with your arms there. Keep your elbows wide through this whole exercise. Keep the knees close together as much as you can. Feet wide, knees together. We're going to inhale, lengthen our spine, and then exhale, lift your head and shoulders off of the ground. Inhale, come back down, lengthen the spine. And exhale, roll up just until shoulders are off the ground. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhaling down, lengthen. Exhaling up for the crunch. Down and up. Inhale down and up. Keep going, inhaling down, exhaling up. I'm gonna come give a quick look, see how everybody's doing. All right, I can't see anybody, so just keep on going. I trust you're doing great. Let's do about 3 more. Let's do 1 more on your last one, and you come up, hold it up. So up, and we're gonna stay there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Very nice. Extend your legs out in front of you, stretch your arms overhead, and then stretch through center into your tummy. And relax your arms down. While we're here, we're gonna try to release the psoas muscle. This is one that if you have a block, you're gonna wanna use your block or an alternative to the block. If you don't, no worries, you don't need to use it. It just adds a little element if you have one. So if you have a block, you're going to lift your hips and place the block underneath your sacrum. Sacrum is below your low back, right into the fleshy area of your bottom, below the bone there at the hips. We're gonna bend both knees, and we're gonna bring the right knee up toward the chest. Take a breath there, see how it feels. Try to relax that right foot. Good. And if it feels okay, extend your left leg straight out in front of you, relaxing it on the ground. Now, when you do this, you might feel a pull of that left front thigh right near the groin area. And what you're really feeling is your psoas muscle. And that's exactly for the feeling we're going for. Now, if you don't feel that, that's okay. It's still a beneficial movement. Hold here. Try to breathe easy and just relax the belly. And lower your right foot down. We're gonna switch sides. Left knee up. Take a breath there. And if it feels okay, extend your right leg. Ooh, I really feel it on that side. Now, if this feels uncomfortable for you, keep that straightened leg bent. It will almost always feel somewhat uncomfortable for people who have lower back disc problems. It's a good exercise for them, but it doesn't always feel great. We'll have about 2 more breaths. Lower your left foot down. If you're using a block, remove the block, set it aside, and take a moment to enjoy that feeling once the block is removed. You might notice after doing that movement that we just did that your whole body moves a little bit freer and a little bit easier. All right, let's go into our next abdominal exercise. We're going to go into a dying bug. This again kind of creates more awareness of the core. So with knees bent, we're going to again draw our navel down toward the mat so that we create a flat surface of the low back. And we're going to bring the knees or feet off of the ground so that the shins are about parallel to the ceiling. If you can picture it, you want your knees to also be about in line with your hips. And we're going to bring the arms straight up into the air and bend the elbows. Okay? And this is really hard because our brain work comes into it as well. With an inhale, we're going to lift the right leg and the left arm at the same time. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, right leg, left arm. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Or I don't know, see, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I think I said that last time. So we're just gonna alternate, inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. A couple more times. One more time each side. And then lower it all down to the ground. Take a breath or two. All right, let's come back to that position, but we're going to make sure that our back is still pinned to the ground. Navel down, back pinned to the ground. Knees up, shins parallel to the ceiling, arms up, elbows bent. All right. Now we're going to raise both legs and both arms at once, and then back to position. And up, and back to position. Up, back to position. 2 more times. Up, back to position. Last one. Up, back to position, and hold. Remember to breathe. Lower it down. Take a breath. So by the looks of it, we think, well, that's not much abdominal work, but if you've just done that with me, you recognize, oh yeah, it sure is. Next one we're gonna do is pretty significant. We'll all feel this no matter how toned we are in our core. So to modify it, if it's too tough, keep your legs bent. We're all gonna lift our hips up and bring both hands underneath the sacrum, like where we had the block in the earlier exercise. So underneath the low back, into the fleshy area of your bottom. Bending your knees in towards your chest, lift your legs straight up, point your toes. If this hurts your back at any point, bend your knees a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out. Lower your legs a couple degrees. Legs straight, toes pointed, or if it hurts your back, bend your knees. Breathe in, breathe out. Lower your legs a couple degrees. Same thing, bend your knees if you need to. Breathe in, breathe out. Lower the legs a couple degrees, just hovering above the floor. Breathe in, Breathe out. Not quite done. Come back up a couple degrees. Breathe in. Breathe out. Couple degrees more up. Inhale. Exhale. All the way up to 90. Inhale. Exhale. Bring those knees in. Release your hands. Wrap them around the shins. Gently rock side to side. Roll over onto your side. Come on up. We're going to come all the way up to standing. I think we've had enough ab work for today, probably. We'll do some more on next Tuesday. Come on up to standing. Oh, last one's hard, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Coming to the top of your mat, into a mountain pose. Let's see. My camera's not in the right position today. Hope you all can see me fine. You're at the top of your mat, even though I'm not at the top of mine. Mountain pose, palms facing forward, feet are about hip width apart. Let's engage our core. Draw it in, lift up through the pelvic floor if you can. Looking straight forward. Chest is open, shoulders are relaxed, arms are strong. Energy flowing through our arms and legs. Take a couple breaths. We're going to come into a warrior one. So with the right foot forward, take a big step straight back with the left leg, and then turn the left toes out just a little bit. Not all the way out, just a little bit so that the toes are still facing forward. Hips are facing forward. Bend to the right knee so that the right knee is above the right ankle. And then lift both arms up overhead. If it's uncomfortable for you to have your arms overhead, you can bring them wide or bent. But try to lift them overhead. So from the side, it's something like this. And with an inhale, straighten that front leg. And with an exhale, arms wide, bring your chest down until it's about parallel to the ground. Both legs are straight here. With an inhale, we're moving back to warrior one. Bend to the right knee, lift arms up. And with an exhale, arms wide, straighten the leg, chest down. Good. Inhale, bend the right knee, arms up. Exhale, straighten the leg, arms wide, chest down. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. If you'd like to, bring your hands to your right thigh. Keep both legs straight. And then let your chest relax down toward your right thigh. You can bring your hands to the ground or to your shin or to a block or something else that you might have, or you can keep it at your thigh. Relaxing your head down, stretching through that right leg. If we're in a habit of sitting a lot, or our job requires us to sit a lot, we'll find that we're really tight in the back of that leg, and we might not go very deep here, and that is just fine. That's part of why we do yoga, to help loosen up the body. Let's come out of this finishing in our warrior one. Bending the right knee, arms come up. Very nice. Arms down and step forward back to our mountain pose. All right, let's go to the other side and do the same thing. Left leg forward, right leg's gonna take a big step straight back. And I'm gonna fall over. Okay, right foot turns out slightly to the right. Left knee's bent above the ankle. That knee is gonna be about in line with your second toe. Both hips are facing forward. If this feels really tight in your back leg, you can try bringing your heel off of the ground a little bit, or even place a pillow or a block underneath that heel. Let's bring arms up to our warrior one. Good, look down, see that that knee is about above the ankle, not extended beyond the ankle. Good. And with an inhale, we're gonna straighten the front leg, reach up. With an exhale, arms wide, send the chest forward, bring it halfway down. Hold there for a moment. And bring some movement with breath. Inhale, bend the left knee, reach the arms up, warrior one. Exhale, arms wide, straighten through the leg, chest comes down. Again, inhale, my cat's playing with me. And exhale, straighten through the leg, chest down, arms wide. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, straighten the leg, arms wide. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale, straight leg, arms wide. Stay there. Bring your hands to your thighs. Relax your chest down towards the thigh. And you can bring your hands down to the ground, to your shin, keep them at your thigh, or rest them on something else, whatever feels good. Try to keep that left leg straight so that you're getting a stretch through the thigh. Only going as far as it feels good in your body. Not going to what you think it should look like, but rather to what feels right for you. One more breath here. Coming back to warrior one on the inhale, bend the left knee, reach arms up. Arms come down and step forward. Good, let's shake it out a little bit. Let me check the time. All right, let's do some balancing. Back to mountain pose. You might want to have a chair or a wall nearby. We're going to go into a tree pose. Right leg, our root, right leg is our trunk, I should say, for our tree. The feet is the root. If you've got an imagination like I do, imagine roots growing down into the earth to really help support you. We're going to need our focal point, so something to look at on the floor in front of you or perhaps straight ahead of you. You never want your focal point to be moving. That really makes things challenging. We're going to open our left hip, open it out to the left. Turn the knee and the foot to the left as well. Lift the left heel up, slide it in, prop it above your ankle, toes still on the ground. Orient yourself here. And then see if that left foot will come off of the ground, resting against your right leg. Rest your left foot on a flush part of your leg, not against the joint of the knee or the ankle. You can be above or below the knee, but not against the knee. Once you feel fairly solid there, try bringing your arms up over your head. Take your time with this. Balance is work. If you come out of it, come right back into it, or you can always keep that left toe on the ground. 2 more breaths. Arms down, knee in, foot down. Shake it out. I didn't see anybody fall over, so we're doing great. Let's go tree pose to the other side. Mountain pose to start. Take a moment to orient yourself, left leg rooted into the earth. Right hip, knees, toes open to the right. This is as much of a hip opening pose as it is a balancing pose, so it's important to remember to keep that hip open. Right heel comes up and slides in to prop above your left ankle. Orient yourself, find your focal point, something to really lose your gaze in. And if it's appropriate for you, go ahead and try lifting your foot up onto your leg. Remember, don't store that foot against a joint, below or above a knee, and keeping the hip open. Ooh. If you fall out of it, you can start over and come back to where you need to be. Once you're stabilized, arms up. And if you don't get stabilized, keep your arms wide or down or at center, wherever will help keep you balanced. 2 more breaths. Bring your right knee in, foot down, arms down, shake it out. In fact, let's shake a little bit before we come back down to the ground to finish. So shaking is an important part of yoga, even though it looks silly, but it's a really good way to get your energies flowing throughout your body, get your blood and other fluids moving. So starting with the hands is exactly as it sounds like, shake. Arms, elbows, shoulders, shake. Bring it into your chest. Let your thighs and booty shake. You can even shake out your feet, lifting them off the ground if you want. You can shake your head if that feels safe and okay for you. Just shake. Good, let that energy move. If you wanted to turn around, you can turn around. You can move your arms, just shake and feel silly for a minute. Good. And then let's make a tight fist, and we're gonna jog really fast in place, especially with the upper body. Jog, good. And a great big breath in. And relax it all out, breath out. Hold here just a moment, feel that energy moving throughout your body. Bring a smile to your face if you can. Nice. Let's come back down to the ground. However you can get to the ground is just fine with me. We're gonna go right into our lying down. Getting ready to relax. In a constructive rest pose, we'll just bend the knees, arms down at your side, turn your palms up, take a breath or two. Notice how your core feels here after we did some work with it. Let's move the hips. We're gonna go into a butterfly pose. Bringing the knees up, knees wide, feet together. Wrap your hands around your feet if you can, intertwining your fingers. If you can't get your hands around your feet, bring them around your ankles or around your thighs or wherever works for you. If your shoulders start peeling off the ground, this is a good opportunity to bring a pillow or a bolster underneath your shoulders. Keep your knees open wide to really stretch those inner thighs. And we're gonna take this into a happy baby by releasing our hands, pointer and middle finger, wrap around the big toe if you can reach, and then the feet come wide. Knees stay deeply bent, feet come wide. Shoulders relaxed, head is looking straight up. Notice the way your low back feels in this happy baby. Keep that smile on your face. Allow gentle thoughts to move through you. Bring the feet back together, release your hands, draw your knees together, give yourself a hug. Release your legs straight down in front of you. Arms at your side, palms facing up. Rearrange yourself so you're comfortable here. Bend your knees if you need to, or another position if you're uncomfortable lying on your back. Let your feet fall open. Chin is just ever so slightly raised. Go ahead and close your eyes if you feel safe to do so. And we're going to allow ourselves a few minutes of just resting here in Shavasana, or relaxing finishing posture. If you would like to go back to that breath that we did at the beginning of class, I love that breath. It's really relaxing. So if you'd like to go back to that, you can. And you would remember that's an inhale to 4, hold to 4, exhale to 5, hold to 4, and start over. Let's start bringing gentle awareness into our breath. Noticing the ebb and flow of your breath, the way your belly rises and falls, or maybe your chest rises and falls. And when you're ready, begin bringing gentle movement into your body, into your limbs, your fingers, your toes, maybe turning your head or stretching your jaw. Perhaps bending your elbows or your knees. And then when you're ready to move bigger, bring your knees up to your chest. Give yourself one more hug. And then roll over onto your side in that tight little fetal position. If it's not comfortable for you to lay on your side, you can skip this part. Take a couple of breaths right where you are, just a couple of mindful breaths, paying attention to the way that your body and mind feels right now. And when you're ready, gently work your way up to seated. I like to use my arms to come up to seated rather than using my spine to bring my body up to seated. Take your time with no hurry at all. Okay. So to end our class this morning, we're in a sort of a meditation or just a thinking. I guess that's what meditation means, is thinking. We're going to just close our eyes or relax our eyes and look inside for a moment. And we're going to look for one positive word to describe the way that we feel right now. And just like we did on Tuesday with gratitude, we're going to try to be able to hold on to this word throughout the day as an anchor, something to come back to. So one positive word that you can hold on to that describes the way you feel. It might be a mental, emotional, or physical feeling, but one word. And if you can come up with more than one word, wonderful. Hold on to a couple. And once you've come up with that word, allow that word to permeate through your whole body, from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. Allow the feeling that that word brings to move through you and to be a part of you, to even rest in your identity today. And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up class, turn off the video, and if you would like to leave now, you can, or you can stay and chat for a moment if you would like. Let's bring our hands to heart center, just as the way we finish class, with simply honoring each other's time and space. Let's take a big breath in and a full breath out. And I thank you guys for sharing yoga practice with me again today. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I honor each of you. Namaste.